Over histograms, which is kind of like a bar graph. The only difference really is the labels along the x-axis, and histograms have a frequency table. So a frequency table shows the number of times a data value or range occurs in a data set. And then a histogram is a graph that uses bars to show the frequency of equal ranges or groups of data. So this is what I mean. It looks like a basic bar graph, but notice the labels on the x-axis. They are grouped by intervals. It's not just like a single number. So there's steps you have to take whenever you're making a histogram. Step one is, of course, to title your graph. So in my example, it looks like we were talking about cross-country team times, and that would be the title. Step two is to use the frequency of the data to choose the scale. So we look over here. These were the times we had. They range from, let's see, the fastest time was in the 14s, and the slowest time was in the 23 range. So we have to figure out how we're going to break that apart. And we broke it apart in 1 minute, 59 seconds, so basically 2-minute intervals. And then they displayed their data that way. So all of the times that ranged from 14 minutes flat to 15:59, we drew a green bar for. It looks like there were 4 of them. From 16 to 17 minutes and 59 seconds, and then so on. So that's the difference between this and a bar graph. This uses like ranges of data instead of bar graphs. They just use single data points. Listed time intervals along the horizontal axis, and then label your graph basically. So now it's our turn to make one. A store owner asked the age of each child who came into his store one day. The ages of the children were as listed. What is the range of ages? So you know how to find range. It's the biggest number minus the smallest number. So I see the biggest number is 13, it looks like. And the youngest kid was 3. So find the range of that. 13 minus 3 would be 10. All right, and then this is a frequency table. You're going to tally up each kid who's listed between the ages of 3 and 5, and then 6 to 8, 9 to 11, 12 to 14. So I'm just going to go in the order that they're listed. We've got a 12, and then 8, and then a 3, and 2 5s, and I'm going to run out of space because this marker's too wide. A 10, 13, 11, 7, 6, 9, another 6, 10, 12, 7, and 6. I guess I should have gone this way. There we go. So it looks like from ages 3 to 5, we only had 3 kids. From 6 to 8, we had 6 kids. From 9 to 11, we had 4. And from 12 to 14, we had 3. So now let's use that. Does it ask us to make a histogram with that? Yeah, it does, right here. So from 3 to 5, I'm looking right here, we had 3 kids. So make it go up to 3, halfway between 2 and 4. A histogram, the bars do touch. That's also another thing about histograms. The bars have to be touching each other. From 6 to 8, there were 6 kid shoppers. Oh, that's real sloppy. 4 for 9 to 11. And then 3 again. Ta-da! There's your first ever histogram. Okay, on number 4, it says, if you wanted to know how many 8-year-olds shopped at the toy store, would this histogram help you? So pretend like this was never given to you. You were never told the exact age of every single child. Pretend this is all that you were given. The downfall of histograms is that they don't give you specific enough data. You can't tell by looking at this exactly how many 8-year-olds there were. You can tell how many 6 to 8-year-olds there were, but you can't tell exactly how many 8-year-olds there were. So go ahead and copy all of this down and glue it into your notebook.